Silvy Show. Tune in at 11, good laugh, good vibe, that's for sure. Get smooth with Tim, get smooth with Tim. They have you running like you popped the pill. Once you hear the show, you ain't gonna want it to end. Get creative with the sounds, you can make it your mouth. Reaching all over the world, Queen Silvy in the house. Award-winning show with the #1 spot. Look out. It's the Queen Silvy Show. 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 Look out.
Hi, this is Joe Mass. You are listening to the Queen Silvy Show. You are now part of the royalty.
Hey everybody, good morning. This is Smooth Tim and welcome to our first home episode right now of the Queen Silvy Show. It is now my absolute pleasure to introduce to you the woman next to me, the world's sexiest granny, everyone's favorite comedian, Queen Silvy.
What? We have an audience here today. Welcome to the Queen Silvy Show. Thank you for tuning in today. It is a lovely day here in Arlington, Texas, as I look out the window and see the birds smiling. Did you hear that? Oh, yes, they are, as they fly by straight up. Now, without further ado, allow me to introduce my buddy pal and co-host of all the years, Smooth Tim. Hey, Tim.
Good morning, Queen, and how are you doing today?
I am, as always, supercalifragilistic.
Expialidocious, I suppose this. Well, that's 24/7, 365, Queen, because, as always, you are simply amazing. Yes, you are. You know what else is amazing? The lineup on today's show. We're going to have with us caregiver and woman of faith, Pamela Anderson. We're also going to have with us today on the show talking social service director at Memorylane Care Services, Cheryl Conley. So it'll be a really nice little day in an interview. We'll sit tight, learn a few things, and enjoy the Queen Silvy Show.
That's right. But before I begin, before I begin my conversation with Pamela Anderson and Cheryl Conley, what I'd like to do at this moment is I'd like to share some motivational words from the Queen Silvy Show to you. Promise yourself, no matter how hard it gets, that you'll never give up on your dreams. Stay true to yourself, yet always be open to learn. Promise yourself to love yourself no matter what. You hear me? And make yourself a priority because you are worth it. People with good intentions, they make promises. But people with good character, they keep them. So promise to stress less, smile more, and never give up. And those are, thank you, some motivational words from the Queen Silvy Show to you. Before we begin with our wonderful guests, what we would like to announce, Smooth, would you like to join me in announcing the biggest adventure yet to come of exciting great things for the Queen Silvy Show and you? We are here to announce that we are no longer with Fishbowl Radio Network, and it feels so great as a path and as the vision and the purpose explodes even more above that level right there. So tune in and get ready for more great things for the Queen Silvy Show. And Smooth Tim bringing you the best in live entertainment, talents, and topics from around the world just for you. So we're going to get things going. If you have any questions for my guests, any comments or suggestions, Smooth Tim is on standby. Go to queensylvy@comic.com, or we're here live on Facebook under Silvy Star Senior Moore welcome to put any of your comments or your questions for my great guest here today. With every care situation has its own story. Taking every everyday challenge of being a full-time caregiver for her mom with dementia, she is here to provide inspiration and to share her story. From Toledo, Ohio, I introduce to you Pamela Anderson.
Hello, Queen Silvy. How are you today?
Hey, Pam.
Hey, thank you for having me on your show. I'm enjoying it.
Great. Also joining Pamela with over 30 years experience um, in the field of elder care, dementia, and Alzheimer's disease. She's a social service director at Memorylane Care Services, also from Toledo, Ohio. I introduce to you Cheryl Conley.
Thank you, Queen Silvy, for having us.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate that very much. So let me start with you for a minute, Pam, if I can, because everybody has a story. I appreciate you being here. Some don't know, but Pam is a good friend of mine. And I did not know until we had a really in-depth conversation just how strong and devoted of an individual she is. And she moved me to the point where I want the world to know that there are strong people in the world that can make a difference for not just loved ones, but for those who are in need, those who need you. And Pamela is there. Pam, you are part of a very supportive and a loving family. I guess things for you kind of changed maybe 9 years ago. But before we get to that, I want people to know that before you became a full-time caregiver, you had your own profession as well. So share with me your past profession in life.
Yes, Queen, thank you. Yes, I have been over the last 30 somewhat years an account executive selling radio ads and promotions and print. My specialty is niche because I've sold all genres of radio from news talk, sports, jazz,
Mm.
soft rock, and this has been awesome. And naturally R&B.
Very, very, very talented, multi-talented lady. But you see, you gave all of that up for something that blessings come in so many ways. And you are not only blessing your mother, but you bless anyone that comes within your path. But when speaking about your mom and 9 years ago when all of this has happened, share with me a little bit about your mom and your great dad.
Okay, well, this how I would say 9 years ago, I began taking care of my mom and my dad.
Okay.
My dad, he was an inspector at Dana. He was an excellent left-handed golfer and bowler. And he was so good that after he retired, my dad became a left-handed golf instructor for our local golf course.
Okay.
And a diehard Cleveland fan.
Get it out. That's right.
Right. And my mom, when she taught me through my learning, she's a faith-based woman. She was always pleasant and a hardworking nurse who loved to shop and loved to care for people.
That's all right.
Okay. She loved it so much that even after she retired, Mom began to take care of people in their homes. Therefore, she became a caregiver. And my mom was even nominated and selected to be Caregiver of the Year. My mom My mom looked out for people and she took care of people wherever she went. She was a blessing to anyone that came into her presence.
That's all right.
Okay. And as I mentioned, 9 years ago, my dad had a stroke. And being the caregiver that my mom is, my mom took on the responsibility of caring for my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'll talk about later, it's important to have a support group. So, and being a daughter and trying to be in a support system for my mom, I would stop by and help her out, notice things, and to give her a break and to help her take care of my dad throughout this time. My mom became ill. She had to be hospitalized. And so when you go, both my parents became incapacitated basically at the same time. Didn't have a clue. My parents ended up in nursing homes. The nursing homes in the state had, control of their lives. So I had to immediately revamp my whole life and take care of my parents and bring my parents home. So that's where my journey began 9 years ago, and my reason for becoming a caregiver for my mom and my dad, and currently my mom's caregiver.
That's what's up. I think you were meant and born to be the designated one to do what you do. I have 8 siblings, and for some reason I felt like it was my duty to be that one, to be there and do what it is that I had to do for my mom. She didn't make it past the nursing home, and we all had it set up for her to come to me and stay within our home, but she didn't make it. So, hats off to you and everybody who is putting their foot forward to make a difference for people. But how did you end up really? I mean, I know that you obviously was born to do this. You learned and followed suit with your mom, gained all of what it is, that the blessing that comes with doing this. But, how did you end up becoming the one? I mean, you are really the one, not just the daughter, but you are now have on this hat as a caregiver for your mom. How did you get into that? What was that process for you and jumping in? Because, realize some people that go through this, they don't even have this step right here. It's the issue, and then right into the facility, or no one in the family is going to step up to par and do what it is that you are doing. So how did you decide? What happened that you was like, that's it, I'm going to do it?
Well, the reason why I had to do it naturally, I'm my mom's only daughter, so that's a natural. But then in the beginning, you have to take care of your family. You have to take care of your parents. My parents, like I said, they were responsible for each other at this time because nobody expected for both of them to be ill at the same time and needed help. Mm-hmm. So being and concerned for my parents, and I guess just being a Christian and a child of faith, and answering God's call, it was a natural. I didn't think about it, just what you got to do. So I automatically decided, chose my resources, asked questions as to how can I bring my parents home. And that was my total mission. Didn't care about anything else, what I have to do later, what it's going to do with my life. It was just that, okay, my parents have a home. I have to take care of my parents.
Well, bless your heart.
And so like I said, automatically, through training and my past experiences being an account executive, I learned how to prepare, how to plan, how to find resources, and how to make the connections. Mm-hmm. And once you're able to do that, it falls into place.
Absolutely. Well, and it's going to fall into place anyways for you, Pam. I mean, because you're doing the right thing. I mean, that's what you can do. But your mom suffers from dementia. I know there's many types of dementia. What type of dementia is diagnosed for your mom?
Well, there's several different terminologies and diagnoses, but it is possible because of the expertise in talking of the field of dementia and Alzheimer's. Could we share that with Cheryl?
Yes, Cheryl is next after you would have told me the type of dementia she was diagnosed.
Oh, okay. Well, there's been terms used as a senile dementia without behavior disturbance. Okay. What that means, my mom has dementia, but she's not compatible. She doesn't cause any problems. She's not angry. We don't have issues. Mm-hmm. So she just has dementia. She's also used words as Alzheimer's disease, which is a progressive brain disease. And in 2018, her neurologist diagnosed her as having advanced dementia. Okay. So these are, where we're at with mom's diagnosis terminology of her disease.
Okay. Thank you, Pam. Do you mind me calling you Pam? I know it's Pamela, yes, but I'm like, Pammy.
Oh, Pammy. Yeah, Pam works. It's good. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Cheryl, tell me about the works and experience over your 30 years where currently you're the director of social services at Memorylane Care, but I've checked you out. You really know your stuff, and your passion shows, and just the things that I found about you. It stems more than just this, but tell me about your journey. Tell me about your works and experience over the 30 years.
I actually got trained in gerontology, the study of aging, and I had no dementia in our family up until that point. And I just had a passion for older adults. My grandma lived with us. Another grandma and grandpa were down the street. a great grandma several blocks away. And so I just wanted a job where I could hang out with old people and hear their stories.
Right.
It's so wonderful listening to older people tell their stories. It really wasn't till I was in it that I realized I had something to contribute. So I went in for the most selfish reason that I like old people.
That is a great thing, though. I'm going to be old one day, and I want someone like you in my life, too, that cares. You know what I'm saying? And it is important. Smooth Tim and myself volunteered at a Alzheimer's facility, and we did activities. And I kid you not, I learned from them, just from their passion in their life. They kind of click more if you give them some of their childhood, give them some of their upbringing and things. I'm not coming in and bringing you Jay-Z and Beyonce. We're doing some of the Frank Sinatra and back in that era. And I actually learn and enjoy what I do. So I may follow your path. I don't know. You are a great example of doing the right thing. Old people, we all gonna grow old. We all hope that we live to grow old.
We do learn from these older generations. I often say that they're the last civilized people on earth. And when they're gone, it's just us barbarians left.
Right. Right. And the lucky ones have that knowledge to take on with them too, though. But now we're talking Alzheimer's and dementia. And some people get that really kind of, confused. Start with me and describe your definition of dementia and then your definition of Alzheimer's, because I know there's a various types of that.
That's it exactly. So dementia just means I'm having trouble with my brain that I didn't used to. I'm having trouble thinking. I'm having trouble with memory. And I might even have personality changes. But the question is, why do you have that dementia?
Right.
And some people get dementia because they got Alzheimer's disease. Some people get dementia because they had strokes. Some people get dementia because they had something called Lewy body or frontal temporal or Creutzfeldt-Jakob, and on and on. There's many ways people get dementia. Most people I meet are like Pam's mom, who just are told, you've got dementia without a behavior, or you've got severe dementia. Mm-hmm. And you never find out which one it is. Now, does that matter? Yes and no. I think if I was told I had dementia, I want to know why. Which dementia do I have?
Right, right.
Because some of them it matters.
Yes. Is there a difference between the two, between Alzheimer's and dementia? What difference would there be?
Alzheimer's is probably the most common way people get dementia.
Is it possible that sometimes there may be people that's misdiagnosed between the two?
I think so. So the dementia is just what the problem is. I think of dementia as a catch-all term, like the word flower. If you say, oh, I planted some flowers, we all know what flowers are. But then you say, well, which flower, what kind of flowers did you plant? So if you're just told you got dementia, we all know what that means. You're having trouble with your thinking, you're having trouble with your memory, you're having changes. But sometimes I want to know why I got dementia. Did I have the Alzheimer's disease? Is that what gave me the dementia? But if I had one called Lewy body, Lewy, after a Dr. Lewy, I need to know that because there's some medicines I can't take. They'll make me worse.
Wow. That makes a lot of sense too. I mean, so when anybody's diagnosed with anything, you could say you have cancer. Well, I want to know what type of cancer and what is the cause of this and things like that. Smooth, you had a question coming in?
Yes, I did have a question. Actually, the question came in for Pam, and it says, from Bernice, and Bernice didn't say where she was from, but do your mom recognize who you are or your other family members?
Not really. I believe she knows who I am, but most of the time, no. If you were to say, had an interesting conversation, I do have a brother. My brother talked to my mom on the phone, and when he shared it with my mom, I'm standing there Let me speak to my Pam, my sister. My mom's like looking around for Pam. I'm right there, and Pam's not here. I haven't seen her. So, and I'm right there all day long, just finished feeding her and right there. So no, it's kind of hard to say. I know she knows me. She knows I'm a loved one. She knows I'm there for her. But if you were to say, Pam, this is your daughter, if she's confused as to actually who Pam is, what's a Pam, what am I, her sister, her cousin, all of that doesn't really matter. She just knows that I love her and I'm caring for her and she's feeling safe with me.
Okay.
You know, if I could say
Here, I
something,
got one more.
if I could say something
sorry.
about that. I once saw a woman who said, you know, I sometimes don't know my husband. I don't know his name. I don't even know he's my husband. I just think, I don't know who the heck you are, but I love you. So what's more important, the fact that Pam's mom knows this is someone who's by my side taking care of me, the real relationship, or the name of the relationship and the name of the person?
Okay, this is from Kevin. Let me read. Kevin should have left his name on this one and where it was from. Pam, you are a beautiful and strong woman. God bless you.
All right, Kevin. Yeah, Kevin, come on back with that one right there. But that is nice, and that is definitely true. But before I get another question with you, Pam, with you, Cheryl, if someone has a family member right now, their symptoms may be different than what symptoms Pam's mom went through, or before Pam even realized it. And I'll ask you in a moment, Pam, what things did you see along the line that might have, or now that you know what your mom has, if you can look back and say, oh, now I see that. But Cheryl, what are some symptoms for someone that, you know, my mom used to always, I have 8 siblings, so sometimes she would call me one of my siblings' names, or, get us all mixed up. And how would I know if that was something also as a warning sign for something? But what would be something to look for?
Yeah, I wonder if we had the same mother, because I'm one of 7. And she was there at the top and she'd go, Michael, Larry, Dan, Kathy, Cheryl. I have to say it's difficult to tell at first, because everyone over about age 45 or 50 starts having memory problems, especially recall. Where did I park my car and things like that. So what's normal and what's not? I would say once people start having poor judgment, making decisions they never ever would have made before, or extraordinary personality changes. Someone used to be outgoing and now they're real quiet, or just the opposite. They used to be quiet and now they're losing their temper, angry. It still could be a problem with a medication or an infection or their diabetes. It still could be something else, but at least it makes my antenna wiggle, like there's changes happening. What's going on? I should get checked out by a doctor and see what's going on.
And, for the record, let me just say some of the things that you said could possibly fit someone strung out on drugs, burnt out, or someone who is drunk, drinking, or, something else. And in those instances, yes, you still need to go see someone because there's an issue. There's an underlying issue. But in taking it seriously with our loved ones, you're brought up learning and teaching about old folks, but is this an old folks thing? Is this something that just old folks are going to get, or can someone in their 30s get diagnosed with a form of dementia, or told that is Parkinson a form of dementia or Alzheimer's?
So most people with Parkinson's never develop dementia, but there is a dementia that does haunt some people who have Parkinson's.
Okay. You wanted to say something?
Yes, Cheryl, question for you from Bethany. Bethany wants to know what can be done to slow the progress of this disease.
No one ever wants to hear this, but exercise is the number one thing you can do. So I need to be careful though, because no one's ever figured out how to prevent a heart attack. No one's ever figured out how to prevent a stroke. No one's ever figured out how to prevent dementia, including the Alzheimer dementia. But you could be as healthy as you possibly can, and maybe you won't get that heart attack. You could be as healthy as you possibly can, and maybe not get that stroke. Or you could be as healthy as you possibly can, and maybe not get dementia. And exercise is physical exercise is the number one thing you can do to try to prevent is too strong of a word, but slow things down.
Yes, and exercise does a lot for everyone and everywhere. It's very beneficial. One of the most naturalist things and simplest things that can be done to help ourselves. Just for a moment, if I may, Vonda said, my grandmother had dementia. A lot of people don't know what that is. Thank you, Vonda, for that comment. You can keep your comments coming in on Sylvie Stark's page on Facebook in the comment section, or swing on over to Queen Silvy at comic.com, and Smooth Tim will get these questions and comments out. I appreciate all of the questions and the comments that you are bringing. But Pam, for you, was there any symptoms? Did you see anything that was like a signal that something was going on in the form of dementia with your mom?
Yes, in the beginning, which, like I said, I didn't really notice to put finger on it until I actually started being there every day, paying attention to things. I started noticing things like notes. Mom started leaving notes around with her kids' names, her grandkids' names,
Really?
who my dad was, things like that. And
she kind of knew.
Yeah, well, she knew it. It's an interesting story, which I didn't know till later. About a year before that, because of for whatever reason that she chose, my mom took the test. I did not know. So she was diagnosed before anybody knew. She knew herself. So she started doing preparation to save herself. Okay. She did tell one of my daughters, did not know that until after. But about a year before I started noticing things, and started asking questions. My mom was just doing the preparation work. She was doing what they told her to do, jot down everything for her memory, where everything is, where all the bodies are buried. She just sort of like wrote the notes. So if anybody needed to know when she lost her memory, she didn't know, then somebody could put their hands on it and help her out.
That's very smart. And see, she got hands-on experience from working and doing that. So that is so great. But now for you, Pam, are you concerned that you yourself may have or get or however that goes? No, not COVID-19. Tim is over being a Pam. No, have you yourself as concerned about dementia for yourself or for anyone else in the family?
Well, currently, my brother has been diagnosed and is in a nursing home facility with early onset Alzheimer's. But I would say do I have any concern for myself? I would almost have to say no, not particularly for the Alzheimer's, because I plan to be prepared. Anything's possible. I had to be prepared for getting hit by a car. I had to be prepared for having a stroke. Not necessarily dementia. It runs in the family, possibly, don't know the reason. But there is a possibility. But in everything that I do and in my faith-based training, one of the things that you learn in the beginning is the Lord wants you to be prepared. So I
got a question.
Yes, sir.
Now, is that genetic where you can have a predisposition, Cheryl?
So of the different kinds of dementia, Alzheimer's is the one people are most interested in. There are some genes. If you have one particular gene, it's pretty much guaranteed that you're going to get it before age 65. There's a whole family of people in South America where they all get it in their 30s. And they've given up their medical records and their blood to scientists to figure that out. But the people who more typically get it over age 65, there are some genes that are associated with it, but the picture's not clear. We know that if you've got the Alzheimer dementia in your family, you are at greater risk than someone who doesn't. But even
There was
having
one question saying, hang on, look at that. I'm new at this. Are there certain foods, snacks that shouldn't be given to my dad?
no,
Sent that.
no.
Donald, thanks for that question. No? Okay. Okay. This is very interesting to me because,
You need a healthy diet.
Cheryl, have you ever heard or seen any ads of some of these celebrities who was saying that getting a vaccine caused their child to, is it dementia? What is it that they call ADD and all these things caused from, triggered or brought it out? And I've been reading some things like that. Have you ever heard that, Cheryl? That some says it's from the vaccine, these vaccinations.
I think until we have answers about what causes these different kinds of dementias,
Right.
what causes things like Parkinson's disease, there will be no definitive answer to that. On the other hand, I don't want to be promoting that kind of conspiracy theory or it doesn't even know as conspiracies, is it? Distrust of the medical system. I don't want to promote that.
Right. Absolutely. Pam, I want to say, Shauna, your daughter, she said, you're doing such a great job, Mama Pamela.
Okay. Thank you, Sana, daughter.
Shout out to that family. Janet Barbeg says that she is in dementia prison with her 92-year-old mom, who she's been caring for 5 years. Can you relate to that, Pam? What the challenges of Alzheimer's being diagnosed, and you were the caregiver and all. I mean, can you relate to anything that what's her name, Janet Barbeg, is saying when she says that I feel like I'm in dementia prison, is what she says.
Well, it's the terminology that you could speak on. You could call it a dementia prison if you let it be your prison. I refuse to let anything be my prison. And that's where, again, it's your support groups, your support systems. That's when you ask for help. That's when you do what it takes to bring you out of prison, to keep you out of prison. And if all these things could be done before you are in prison, it helps. So try to make your plan. I cannot express how important it is to pre-plan before you even begin to do this.
I agree.
All these things in place.
I agree. I tell people in everything in life, have a backup plan for everything. And I mean everything. If I go to Kroger's and Kroger's don't got my cheese, well, I'm going, I'm just joking. I'm just throwing that out there. But listen, some people might say, hey, your mom gave birth to you. Why not you take care of your mom? But it's a job. It is a full-time job. No one can walk through your shoes, your shoes, or your shoes. We can only grow and learn from that experience. And I know every day can't possibly be the same. It's not the same for me. But walk me through a day of being a caregiver for your mom with dementia. What is a day like for you?
A day in the life of my mom, like you said, it does vary depending on the day and the time, what type of evening or night she had as to what time she wants to get up. As the most part, my mom generally gets up around 11:30, 12 o'clock. We get up and we start our day with breakfast. That varies. It varies depending on, because I've already planned for what I'm going to do for supper and lunch. So if I'm planning a heavy supper, she may have a light breakfast, which possibly cereal, bananas, and things like that she enjoyed, her juices. And then after that, we have a little time where I take her vitals, which like her blood pressure and all of the temps and things like that for her safety, to make sure that she's healthy, staying healthy. And then we decide what we're going to do today. We play games. I have dolls, all different type of dolls with hair, bald-headed dolls, and just things for her to play with, because she's in a level where I don't want to say childlike, but yeah, she enjoys the basics back to when you were a kid. So it's easier for her to play with the doll's hair. I even have the Barbie doll heads because she likes to play with hair. So we do Barbie.
I like that too, though. I mean, I do.
I'm like, I'm going back to the childhood, because this is what I'm dealing with things that you go back.
Right.
And we do coloring books, and then what helps a lot. These are during our downtime, what we fill in our day.
Mhm.
Mind you, could have been a little different before COVID. Now we're at home, so I have to reinvent and make our activities and our fun times
Mhm.
and fill our day at the house. And so we look at photo albums. That works. We have plenty of photo albums, so she decides and likes to look through her photo album so we can do we don't do all of this every day, but these are some of the things I do to fill in from getting
Right.
up to the bed, right?
Mhm.
So laundry day. Have laundry day, and you're always gonna have a laundry day because stuff happens, okay? So you wanna keep stuff clean. So on laundry day, Mama likes to participate. So we fold washcloths, that's her job, and she still can put pillowcases on the pillows.
Well,
So
that's good.
yeah, so we sit there while I'm folding my laundry. Mama will fold the face towels, and she had this little. She still remembers how she likes to line up her washcloths, and so she still sort of can do that. Then we may after that we watch TV or we walk or we exercise. I live in the senior community, so we walk around the senior community. Is very very beautiful, flowers, and she enjoys that. It's
Yeah.
very peaceful and calming, and she makes comment on that. She'll trying to explain it. She'll say, "Oh, this is nice. Oh, it's so peaceful. Noise. So she sort of recognized that it's peaceful, not exactly how to explain
Mhm.
the feeling."
Right.
And so then after that, we sort of Mom loves to dance. So that's a lot that I put into my routine. We put on the record players and music.
Come have fun with y'all. Y'all be like doing all kind of good stuff.
And then by me living in like I said, I live in the senior community. So I have a few friends that come over and dance with us. And so we have a little dance party. But after we do that, we sort of calm down. Mama would try to she would take a nap. Usually she's sleepy. She'll start sitting in the chair and notice that she get drowsy. So I say, "Mama, bedtime," and she said, "Yes, I'm sleepy." So she'll lay down for a couple hours, and then after she gets up with that, we sort of sit down and while we plan for supper, and she'll watch television or busy herself in her chair. She has a lounge chair that she enjoys sitting in, and we just have supper. And but during this time, somewhat late afternoon, early evening, she began to sundown.
Mm.
So I'm not for sure if you guys are familiar with sundowning.
You're gonna tell me what?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you. With sundowning, sundowning is when she's sort of late, like I said, late afternoon, when you sort of have more confusion. They sort of like ignore directions, their surroundings, they're confused. So you do a lot of redirecting. You sort of like, if she's often doing something this way, that's not exactly right. You don't want to say, "Stop doing that. That's not right." You sort of redirect them. "Let's do this instead."
Mhm.
So different approaches of not shutting them down, telling them this is wrong. It's because they really don't know. They think is right and they're confused. So you do that towards the evening. But I still sort of like redirect. They become aggressive. They can wander. So you try to, like I said, you keep trying to fill that and help out with that until it's time to go to bed. So we prepare for bed. I try to keep things as normal as possible. So I do try to have her bedtime or grooming time, when you can. Say, for instance, yesterday, part of our grooming in our day, we did our nails.
All right now.
Yeah, so,
Girl.
so we do stuff like that. So she enjoys pick out colors. There's not a whole lot. I have different colors, and so I gave her like 3 colors to choose from. Didn't make it like over. So she did choose the color that she wanted, and so things like that. So it's just you got to be creative. Some of the stuff you do anyway,
Right. Right.
And then before she goes to bed, I give her a sweet snack. She likes sweets, so I try to have little sweet snacks.
Mm-hmm.
For her to sort of wind down. Everybody likes a bedtime snack or whatever late out in the evening. And then she'll go to bed. For the most part, she sleeps all night. depending on what time she goes, but that could vary also depending on her day, how anxious she is, if she wants to stand up. I've seen times when my mom go to bed at 9. I've seen times when mama's at 11. I'm like, Mom, it's bedtime. Come on. And, she's up looking at TV. So, and it just varies. But that's basically, if you don't have any place to go, it's a little different. If we do have plans to have to maybe go to the doctor or go shopping. Sometime I take her to the store, grocery stores. We have to go out every now and then. So we do go to the grocery store. She likes the fruit market. So I just try to fill her day with some of the things that I know she enjoyed doing.
But you know what? It's just like as if you had a child. These are the things we would do. And
Right.
when we educate and we make good use of our time and we do activities. If you had someone suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's, this is the things that you would do. If you had a kid, but let's keep it real, Pam. Yes, quadriplegic, like Smooth said, but let's keep it real here. It is a job. It is a full-time job that, listen, you must have yourself together. Realize that what you are doing, sometimes people can forget to take care of themselves because they're doing so much all the time for other people. But what are you doing to take care of Pam along all of this?
Well, this is how I do. I have excellent support system. Okay. Cheryl and the daycare center, they're excellent. They're one of my most awesome support systems. You need your family and you need friends, good friends. The Alzheimer's Association, I call upon these people. I call upon them. The Area Office on Aging, they're good for resources and things that questions are to use. I also have like online support groups. That's Alzheimer's Awareness Support Group. And then I have a support group online that's called ALZ team. Now they are question and answer discussion back and forth, and they support you with all your questions and answers or tell their stories, and you're not alone. And then I also had this called respite care. If there's a ability, say if you needed to go somewhere for like a week or need something to do, not going into a nursing home, but they're available for like short-term. Short-term care is available for you to use. For example, I've only had to use it once, and it helped for the occasion because I needed about a week to handle some business that I need for my mom to be safe. So I did, and it was awesome. It was like about a week, and so we did handle, we did go through that. And then recently, and this is from you, Queen Silvy, I'm going to sign up online for yoga. It's a web site on the web called My Yoga Teacher.
That's right.
So this is another form that I plan to use to relieve my stress or to calm down or whatever I need to do. Another form of a support group that I use.
That's right. I mean, you got to have a backup plan for yourself.
Right.
When I'm angry, when I'm stressed, what am I going to do? She needs you. You need her. And we all want to stay above ground, right?
Yeah, we want to stay above ground, and because if I can't be there to help her, then I'm no good for anybody.
Absolutely.
And then I also have to add, and this is very important, and this should have been my first. I do have a strong prayer-based. My church community they're very helpful. Offer prayers. I think I said I've been blessed. Like I said, the angels come. Everything's lined up for me, and I just hopefully, if you do the right thing, I can only believe that these angels do line up for you. You get the blessings. You do get the message, and you are able to do what you need to do.
Well, that is such a great thing, and you're absolutely right. You are inspiration to people. People can listen to what Pam is saying, and believe me, you can do it. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to go and search that answer, get that research, and ask somebody. And you're right, Pam. It sounds as if you have that soul. No, it's Pam. You're right, Pam, that you have that whole circle that keeps everything where it needs to be, and it's very important to do that. I mean, it's estimated that 13 million will have Alzheimer's by 2025. This thing is growing, just like a lot of other things. It's growing, but 83% of help provided to older adults, and that's in the United States, comes from family members and friends and other caregivers in there. So if I may speak to Cheryl, because Cheryl, you are social service director for Memorylane Care Services, and you play a big part even with not just Pam's mom, but with a lot of other people. So tell me a little bit briefly, if you will, about Memorylane Care Services.
Yes, Memorylane Care Services is in Toledo, Ohio. And like a lot of communities, we have an adult day center.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking of the lady who's in dementia prison.
Mm-hmm.
She might say, my mom would never, ever want to go to a day center. Well, of course she wouldn't. Why would she want to go someplace where she doesn't know what's expected of her and doesn't know anything?
Mm-hmm.
People do tend to like it, and it's also helpful for the caregivers. Your area agency on aging, I refer there a lot for things like that respite care, for help in the home that's affordable, for advice and counseling and things like that. So the lady in dementia prison, I feel for her because not everyone has family or they're estranged from their family, but there are social services that can help.
Mm-hmm.
So
you mentioned area office of aging. I remember that place when I stayed in Toledo. Are they still Arlington? Where are they located? They're out there off Detroit.
they are at Arlington and Detroit. And
Oh,
every state in the Union, plus Puerto Rico and American Samoa, have area agency on aging.
mm-hmm. And it's important to have.
Area agency on aging that can figure out what kinds of supports there are available to you.
Mm-hmm. So I know that Governor Mike DeWine has closed adult daycares here, but let me just mention that Memory Care Services is dedicated. They have, dedicated passion-filled professionals there. But now that Corona has a temporary close, what's the outlook for the future for memory care?
So we received word from the governor that day centers and senior centers in Ohio can open September 21st.
Oh,
I think I asked why so far away. And just like there was an outbreak after July 4th because of people getting together with their families and such, they're expecting another outbreak after Labor Day. So we'll have to get past that outbreak.
that is
But
so.
we've been staying in touch with all the families, and there's great suffering to not be able to get out and to not have any respite and not have any relief.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been doing wellness checks and social service and sending activities home, and even virtual bingo today was virtual bingo.
Because yes, you guys do a lot of things to program classes to coincide with the caregiver, and you work hand in hand with the clients as well. I think it is so great what you are doing, Pam, as well. But Cheryl, is there any helpful advice during this COVID? Someone that has a person at home, or give me some advice for somebody that's caring for someone that's the caregiver of their loved one.
Sure. I wish I had taken notes while Pam was talking, because that's one thing is you need to be lining up your support, staying in touch with all the social services and family members.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone is allowing family members to come into the house or to visit them, but perhaps you could stay in touch by telephone. The great thing is to not feel alone. Someone said that caregivers are modern day saints. And I think I agree with that, but these saints also need support.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people are feeling very much alone today, and the caregivers who already were feeling alone are feeling more so. And so they need to be reaching out through those online support groups and places like that to be in touch.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like a few years ago people were doing Facebook, but that is not giving caregivers a lot of comfort these days because it's filled with so much tension.
Right.
So I think
television.
other online resources like those caregiver support groups are good.
So what do you recommend someone go to, Cheryl, if they just realized today from just hearing you and Pamela Anderson speak it, and they're thinking, well, maybe mom should go get tested, or maybe they have questions. Where are some places for resource, some places for guidance and answers, or where should they turn? Should they do?
If you're in Toledo, call Memorylane Care Services or Northern Ohio. But throughout the nation, there are Alzheimer Association chapters with 24-hour helplines. 800-272-3900.
All right, that's good.
272-3900.
Gotcha.
And then there's something called the Alzheimer Foundation. So there's the Alzheimer Association, Alzheimer Foundation, and both can be answering questions and providing support.
Thank you. Cheryl, I appreciate you taking the time being on the show as well as Pamela Anderson. But for anyone that wants to contact or follow you, Cheryl, how can they do that on social media?
I would say by email rather than social media, because my Facebook page is pretty boring. But my email is C Conley, so CCONLEY at memorylanecare.org. C Conley at memorylanecare.org.
What I was saying was, bear with the whole transition. New equipment is on its way. Bigger and better things for the Queen Silvy Show. We will never let the people down on our purpose, which is to bring the best of live entertainment, talents, and topics from around the world to you. I thank you, Pam. Did you tell how you can be followed, Pam, on social media?
Well, I Facebook, Pam Anderson, and I Facebook faithfully, and also I do have an email. If there's a particular contact that you would like to do, it's Pamela, and the initials MKTING@gmail.com.
That's what's up. Thanks, Pam. I thank you and Cheryl for taking the time and being on the show today. If anyone sends in any questions or comments for you, I will gladly send them to your email. And I look forward to having another conversation, perhaps down the line when this new equipment comes and takes me to the level that I'm striving to get to.
Thank you. This is
thank you. And thank you for having us on, and good luck to your future endeavors.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Cheryl.
Bye-bye.
Uh-oh, there's that audience. All right. All right. Tune in next Tuesday for another terrific Tuesday and the Queen Silvy Show. We're out of here. Bye-bye.